Japan and South Korea held a trilateral meeting this morning to discuss North Korea's growing nuclear arsenal. The group called for stiffer international bans to stop North Korea from sending workers abroad and support in dealing with the country's cyber crimes in an effort to block funding for North Korea's nuclear program. Recent weapons tests by North Korea are raising concerns that the country is working on acquiring more advanced missiles that could reach the U.S. and its allies. Elizabeth Palmer joining us now from Taiwan with more on this. Elizabeth, yesterday, a U.S. bomber capable of carrying nuclear warheads joined military exercises in South Korea. North Korea, which claims to have new tactical nuclear weapons, reacted with a threat of unspecified offensive action. Do you think this could turn into war?
Well, that is the big question. Of course, neither side or none of the sides want war. So really, it comes down to somebody making a terrible mistake. North Korea did say today that the region is a powder keg that could go off anytime, and that is true, despite the best efforts on both sides of this not developing. These warheads and these exercises are all supposed to be for deterrence. The weapons on both sides, and it's a fearsome arsenal, are really only supposed to be for counterstrike if the other side is struck to be able to respond. But it's a very, very dangerous game.
Yeah, extremely tense times. Now let's talk a little about this trilateral meeting. The U.S. Special Representative on North Korea is in Seoul with his counterparts from Japan and South Korea to talk strategy on North Korea's. What have you heard has come out of the meeting?
Well, first we should say that in spite of the fact that the activity on and around the Korean Peninsula is only supposed to be defensive, people are very worried. You can't have a country like North Korea saying that it's developing tactical nuclear weapons and the South Koreans pressing for more joint exercises with the United States without people getting worried. And so this meeting between South Korea, Japan, and the U.S. Special Envoy is really seriously trying to figure out what to do. One suggestion is merely to uphold the UN sanctions against North Korea. The UN has asked for any countries hosting North Korean workers. They go overseas into other countries, especially Russia and China, to work in logging and construction, for example, and then send money home. And so the envoys have said, look, you countries that are hosting North Korean workers, send them back now because they're sending their wages home and those are going into the nuclear program. So that's one thing. And similarly, they're saying that the world has to work harder on cutting off the money coming from North Korean cybercrime, from returning to North Korea and funding that weapons program. Last year, an American cyber analysis agency said that the North Koreans had stolen $1.7 billion in cryptocurrency, and a lot of that will have gone right back into the North Korean weapons program.
All right, let's tackle another subject. How has China responded to the meeting in Los Angeles between Taiwan's president and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy earlier in the week?
Well, I'm standing in Taipei, and I can tell you for the last couple of days, people have been waiting to hear Chinese fighter planes, to hear that there were Chinese missiles flying overhead, because that was China's response after Nancy Pelosi visited Taipei, the ex-speaker, in August. There's been none of that. In fact, today, a relatively modest, low-key announcement that 2 American institutions were going to be sanctioned, which meant that they would be cut off from having any contact with Chinese institutions. And they were the Reagan Library, where that meeting took place between the Taiwanese president and Speaker McCarthy, and also the Hudson Institute in New York, which had invited President Tsai to give a speech while she was in New York. There were also some sanctions on individuals, but there's a sigh of relief here. here, because it doesn't look as if it's going to be, there's going to be, by way of reprisal, a big military show of force. Although, who knows? There's been some speculation that President Xi was waiting for President Macron to go home. He had been on an official visit to Beijing, and we may see the real reprisals starting sometime in the next coming days.
All right, we'll see what happens next. Liz, thanks so much for your reporting.